Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Fatima Azahra, NIM 13, and I come from place A. Now, in this occasion, I want to present my critical review about Flip movie 2010. So the first, I want to discuss about the movie. The Flip movie that arrived in 2010, this directed by Rob Reiner, was based on a novel created by Madeline Van Tanner. Feelings of affection and love can arise at any time from childhood. We can sometimes feel a sense of attraction to the opposite sex. This story is depicted in a film based on the novel with the same title, namely Flip. The film that arrived in 2010 was based on a novel by Wendelin van Trainer. The film directed by Reiner is a romantic comedy genre. Teenagers starring in this film are Madeline Carroll as Julie Baker and Colin MC Alive as Press Lusky. There are several other senior artists who support this film. So the next, I want to discuss about the synopsis in this film. The story of a beautiful girl named Julie Baker who liked her neighbor named Press Lusky, and Julie likes him since he was in elementary school. This American film begins in 1957 and tells the story of a little girl named Julie's attraction to a boy named Press, who was his neighbor at the time, but Julie didn't have the slightest interest in him. Press had promised himself that he wanted to stay away from Julie. So when he entered middle school, Press planned to approach Sherry Styles to make Julie stay away from him. But Sherry no. Press paid attention, and finally Sherry decided to stay away from Press. Mr. Lusky's family also helped Julie's family when they were in trouble. So Julie wanted to give a reward in the form of egg from his farm. But Press always threw the egg away, and finally one day Julie finds out. This makes Julie angry and stays away from Press. He still has the same feeling, and one day Press talks bad things about Julie with his best friend, Saints. Then it made Julie want to run away from Press even more, but it turns out that it all made Press think more about Julie. Over time, Press' feelings for Julie changed. He has an interest in Julie and began to approach Julie by planting Julie's favorite tree. From there, mutual love re-emerged. So the next, I want to discuss about the character and scenes. Julie is a beautiful girl who has a stubborn and ambitious character, and Price is a boy who is arrogant, indifferent, and stubborn as well. So this film is very like to enjoy because this representation of the romance drama in this film is not too excessive. Julie is a beautiful girl who has a stubborn and ambitious character. This is shown in the 5th minute of the scenes, but she always kind to those around her. This is shown in the 20th minute. The sweetness of Julie's treatment made the people around her feel comfortable. It's like Mr. Cheat. Bryce is a boy who is arrogant, indifferent, and stubborn as well. I think this film is quite interesting because in the early minutes we will be shown the past of Bryce and Julie, which is very adorable, so that the audience knows the origin of the story. Then I think this film is very like to enjoy because the representation of the romance drama in this film is not too excessive, like other modern teen films which are too excessive in presenting sexual scenes. The romance scenes, which I don't think is too excessive, occurs at 5th minute. So the next, I want to discuss about the story plan and the film background. And the story plan, I could say this film has a back and forth plot. And film background, the chosen background, which is a classic theme and an epic depiction of life. What makes this film interesting is that it always repeats the scenes. So something that has happened will definitely be shown the reason why it happened. You could say this film has a back and forth plot. so we who watch can understand the detail of the story that happened in this film. Although this film was published in 2010, but that does not change the feel of this film, which is narrated in the 19th and 50th century to 19th and 60th century, with the chosen background, which is a classic theme and epic depiction of life played by the characters at the time. The audience is carried away into the 5th century era. So the next, I want to discuss about the background. The genre of this film is a romantic comedy. From the beginning of this film, the music and the background in this film are very supportive for that genre. As I said at the beginning of this film, apart from the romance genre, it also has a comedy genre. From the beginning, the music, the music and the background in this film are very supportive. Happy music make us feel adorable when the scene of Julie and Price fighting with each other. But I think it still looks cute. This really caught my attention, especially at the 10th minute. The other background were also very supportive when there were angry, romantic, and sad scenes, so that every scene can be infused with supportive music and background. Then the uniqueness of this film is not entirely in the form of conversational dialogue, but partly filled with voiceover from the cast of Julie and Price, which sometimes took some meaningful sentence. Julie said at the 16th minute, from here came the idea of what my father said. I think that the whole is better than the parts. I think that voiceover for me is very meaningful. So the next, I want to discuss about the rating the film. Flip film gets a rating of 78% obtained from audience assessment and get a 57% rating, which is calculated from 67 reviews from several critics. Their comments are very diverse about this film. In some of the criticism give on this of this film, I think I give 9 score for this film. For me, this film is a romance genre with a like nature, not excessive and not boring. So this film is suitable for viewers who like films but can be packaged with epic can also be watched from those age 17 years and over. Okay, so I think this is my reference. Okay, I think it's enough. I sorry if I have any mistake in my presentation. And the last I say to you, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.